Hey guys, it's been a long time. Got some progress on the truck here. Then we're going to do some fuel tank modifications. So I'll give you a walk around quick and then we'll go to the fuel tank. Here we go. It's winter now. Tractor's in the Quonset. Truck's kind of put together. So it's been a hot minute. I got the front grille on, the front fenders, the hood, the engine's in there with the turbo, serpentine belt style. I got radiator hoses, upper and lower. Got some of my wiring, fuel system for right now. I did end up getting mirrors on. These are big tow mirrors. They got heated. And I think they got like anti-glare, and then you can also put a plug here, so I'm probably gonna hang a light, so on and so forth. Visor, cab lights are on top, handle, interior, door panels. I ended up wiring up switches. These are OBS power switches instead of the bullnoses. We were having issues with the bullnose electrical, so we ended up just cutting it and then just wiring an OBS door switches. One, it's easier to replace, and two, it's a little bit more modern, a little bit better. So we got that put in, got the dash put in. I did end up getting the rear seat on. The plastic is in, so there's this piece here. There's a piece that goes along the back, a metal piece, and then there is a plastic piece that goes along the back. And then the B pillars up there don't have any of the headliners. I do have the seat in there. It is secured, mounted. Probably gonna have to paint this or do something. I got the front driver's seat in, shift tunnel, light. Let me grab a light real quick. So I got the shift tunnel, pedals. I'll hop over to the other side. We got the seat. It is an air ride based seat, so I just gotta hook up air to it. That's what we're working on today, is the fuel tanks. I got my exhaust on. This is 5-inch. It's just elbows, and then it goes 5-inch all the way to the front, down to the downpipe, which is 3-inch, which goes to 5-inch. It's just clamped. I got a bracket here holding it to the headache rack. I have the headache rack on there, both battery boxes on. This one is the battery box. So I just ran my wires, cut a couple holes, power, ground. I do have 2 batteries. The other one's charging over on the floor. So this is my battery box. It's still gonna make a hold down. I got a little rubber mat for the bottom. The dry shaft is in. That's all custom built. I do have my 5th wheel drilled and mounted 5th wheel ball to the frame. I do have my rear tail lights wired and bumper mounted. So reverse lights are in the center, and then you got your turn signals, brake lights, and then I do have my license plates lights all hooked up, so everything works back here. Over to this side. This is just an empty box. I just got a ratchet strap in there for right now. Same thing, nothing out of the blue. Another tow mirror. That's all mounted, secured. I'm gonna hang another light, another handle, and then I got the other fuel tank. So I got my dash in there, pedals are all in, wiring is somewhat secured. Shifter is there. I did make a custom boost gauges. So Far one's going to be air pressure, middle one's exhaust temp, and this one is boost. Just for the time being, is what I have. Yeah, seat in there, fixed everything up. Still got to do rockers, fix all the rust, paint it, re-gut. So I ended up getting a different fender because the other fender was basically garbage. Tires are mounted, hood is on. I'm working on my windshield wipers right now, so I have the transmissions with the linkages in there. I still got to do some finessing with the existing mount because the bullnose wire is a 4-pin. The bullnose wiper motor does work, but this mount here doesn't mount compared to this guy. So this guy would sit in there and bolt up how it's supposed to. But with this one, it's got a plug here and a plug here. So it's got 6 wires instead of 4 like this one. And this one, the bolt holes don't even line up whatsoever. It's super small and it doesn't even fit. So I gotta fix that. I got my in-air intake. I made a custom mount. I'm gonna change this out for a different coolant jug reservoir. So intake, this piece actually goes here, and I just need a little piece to connect that. This is the return fuel line, wiring over there, turbos on there, brake master cylinders on there, clutch master cylinders on there. Grill is somewhat on there. This will all come back off. I got my front mounts, plates, tack welded on there, secured. Front radiator support is in. There's not much else. So, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, yeah, there's still some rust and stuff like that, and still gotta finish wiring. But for today, we're working on cutting up the fuel tanks and working on those. So all they are actually 100-pound LP tanks that we're gonna cut up. So they're literally just 100-pound LP tanks. Cutting off the bases. I got the plasma cutter all hooked up, and then we got to cut off the handle up here, and then we got to get a plug for the valve. I'm not too worried about that right now. So we'll plasma this all up. I got cut off wheel grinder, and then we'll grind a flush and yeah, go from there. So that's what I'm working on. I'm gonna try this time lapse and we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna work on getting the tank all prepped up. All right, got her all ground down. Got her all ground down. I just hit the wall grinder with the rubber wire brush, and I just kind of knocked off. There's a lot of dirt and crap underneath it. So I got this all, for the most part, pretty much done. Probably gonna go back and hit it again eventually. But so I got that done. Now I'm gonna flip it around and cut off the ends and grind them down, and for the most part it's done. So I'll be right back. All right, so cut off the handle. There was just 3 little pegs. Ground them down flat. Keeping all the shit out of it. Every once in a while I'll open it just to relieve some of the pressure. So yeah, so that's what we're doing there. And then I'll show you underneath the truck what it's gonna kind of look like. Okay, got a light. So I already cut up and grind down this one how I want it to sit. So for the most part, it's gonna kind of sit right about there along with the downside of the truck. I just got a couple jack stands holding it right now. Like how it's sitting. I still gotta put some weld on some fittings for my feed and return, and then to tee both the tanks. And I still got to do the sending unit on the other side yet, so I still got to make that. But yep, nope, ground it all, cleaned it all up. This one's just sitting on some jack stands. Thinking about using, so this is the original send unit out of this truck for the front, so it's a dual tank truck. This one was out of the front tank, and it's just a 2-wire with a feed. So all I needed is for the send unit part. So I'm thinking this one's gonna be the driver's side, is if I basically cut out a hole, shove this guy in here, I can cut this guy off, and I can cut this guy off and weld it and plug it up, clean this up decent. I might just buy a new sending unit. But basically I'm going to use, thinking about it, use an existing sending unit and then put that in the tank basically. And then I got another junk fuel tank. I'll climb over this quick. So this one's out of a different truck, but if I basically just cut the fitting around the tank, and then I'll just weld the lock ring part to the propane tank, and then I'll weld it and might mold it. Basically, all I gotta do is just get it to read, all it's gonna do is just read fuel level, so I don't need anything overly fancy at all. And then the OEM ones have a little rubber gasket that seals it. It's not like it's gonna go over that full anyways. It'll probably be just more of the splash for it. So we're gonna possibly do that. I gotta order the weld-on fittings, the straps to mount it, and then the filler ports for it too. So in this case, probably gonna, the tank might have to move this way. I'm trying to center it from the end of the extended cab to the front of the door right here. So I'm gonna figure out, it's probably gonna go that way. And then I'm probably gonna do it right on this flat surface right where they welded, probably on the inside. I just wanna be careful so that the door don't hit it. The door don't hit it at all, so. But yeah, for the most part, that's what I'm going to do fuel tanks. I've been kind of debating on it for a while, if I'm going to run actual semi fuel tanks or if I'm actually going to run some straight truck tanks and make it work and sending units and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, nope, that's what kind of the game plan is for this rig. So yeah, yeah, it's turning out. It's a long process. Sorry I didn't fill you in with all the interior and the seats and mock-up and stuff like that. But got quite a bit done. I mean, I just got the, like I said, watch me do the propane tank for my fuel tank, and we'll go ahead and order those parts, and probably next time we'll figure out mounting the tanks to the truck and then getting the filler necks in, and then figuring out what I'm doing with the sending unit, and then I got the weld-on fittings. So, but yeah, no, we'll get that done. So I'm just gonna get a plug this guy off. He will be towards the back. Get some bungs so I can drill a hole and weld them in there. One will be for the feed. So how this truck works is the mechanical fuel pump is underneath here. It's going to do a mechanical pump, comes in, goes to the injectors, and then goes through all the injectors, and then the return line goes to the back section of the, that's what this line's for, it goes to the back on the driver's side. So the feed will go from this tank to the mechanical pump, all through the injectors, and then return to this tank, and then they'll end up getting teed in so I can do both fuel tanks. So, but no, that's all I got time for today. Keep watching the mini semi build. I haven't gave it a name yet, but we're just gonna mini semi for right now. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, and come back next time.